This is the Chapter 6 Expressions Final Study Guide. For our first few problems, we want to write each product using an exponent. So for number 1, we just need to look to see how many of that number we have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 number 3s. So we're going to go ahead and write that as an exponent. So 3 is our base number, and 4 is going to be our exponent. It's going to be a little 4 raised up to the top, showing that we have 4 number 3s. For number 2, again, let's count how many 7s we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 is going to be our exponent. 7 is our base with a little 6. We don't have to solve these out right now. Just leave it as is. Again, count how many we have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's going to be 0.25 to the 6th power. Again, we don't have to multiply them out. We just leave it as it is. Now for the table, it's asking us to write each power, which is over here, as a product of the same factor. So we are going to break it down. So for number 7, it's asking us 5 to the 3rd. So 5 is going to be what we're multiplying by, and the 3 tells us we have 3 5s that we are multiplying out. So it'd be 5 times 5 times 5, and then it asks us to write down the product of it. So we figure out what 5 times 5 times 5 is, and that gives us 125. Number 8, it says 4 to the 1st power. That's telling us we only have 1 4. It's not multiplied by anything because we only have 1. So that means 4 to the 1 power is going to be 4. We don't have to do 9 or 10, so we're going to skip those. And for 11 and 12, it asks us to find the value of each expression. Here's where we're going to use our PEMDAS. I'm going to write that out so we remember what that is. For number 11, we can look at it, and we see that we just have addition and subtraction in our PEMDAS. Addition and subtraction go together. We just do it like we're reading a book from left to right. So first I'm going to do 3 plus 11 gives me 14 minus 9. It's going to end up with 5. That's going to be my answer. For number 12, again with my PEMDAS, we don't have any parentheses. We don't have any exponents. We have multiplication, so we're going to have to do that first. Do my multiplication. 8 times 6 gives me 48. Carry down the rest of my equation. I don't have any division, I don't have any addition, but I do have subtraction, so I have to do 13 minus 48 to give me a negative 35 for my answer. And that completes our first page of our study guide. Go to page 2. Again, we're continuing our PEMDAS for 13. I'm going to write it out just so we have it. All right, to start, we do have parentheses right here. So we're going to do 7 plus 2, which is 9. Bring down the rest of my expression. I don't have exponents, but I do have multiplication, which is 9 times 3. It's going to give me 27. Bring down the rest of my equation. I don't have division, I don't have addition, but I do have subtraction. So we're going to go ahead and do that. That's going to give us our answer of 25. For the next set of problems, it asks us to find the value of each expression. So again, we're using our PEMDAS. For 15, I don't have any parentheses. I do have exponents, so we're going to go ahead and do that first. So our exponent is telling us 2 to the 4th power, which is the same thing as 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. When you multiply that out, that gives us 16. I'm going to bring down the rest of my equation. We already did exponents. I don't have multiplication, but I do have division, which is going to be right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So 12 divided by 2 gives us 6. Bring down the rest of my equation. No addition, but we do have subtraction, so I'm going to do that. That gives us an answer of 10. Again, go through my PEMDAS. I don't have any exponents, but I do have parentheses right here. Go ahead and solve that. Give us 9. Bring down the rest of my equation. No exponents. I do have multiplication, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. 4 times 9 gives us 36. I'm going to bring down the rest of my equation. We just did multiplication, now we can do division. 36 divided by 2 is 18. And then I can finish my expression. So 18 plus 5 gives us an answer of 23. Now for the next set of problems, we want to evaluate the expression. So looking at number 19, it says n plus 6 if n equals 3. So that means I'm going to plug in 3 for n. So that gives us 3 plus 6. Go ahead and solve that. It gives us 9. For number 20, it says x times y. There's no space and no parentheses, so that means we're multiplying. If x equals 12, so I'm going to plug that in right here. And if y equals 4, I'm going to plug that in as well. So now if I have 12 times 4, I'm going to get 48 for our answer. Same thing, we're going to be plugging in m. M equals 7. I'm going to put 7 in where we have m. Again, we don't have any space between 3 and m, which means we're going to be multiplying. So we have 3 times 7 plus 5. Now 3 times 7 gives us 21. Now we're going through PEMDAS here. Plus 5 is going to give us 26. All right, for 22, again, I'm going to plug in x into our equation, and for this instance, x equals 8. So I'm going to rewrite it out so I can see what I'm working with. So 8 minus 2 in parentheses, plus 5. Go through my PEMDAS, have to do parentheses first, so 8 minus 2 gives us 6, plus 5. Add 6 plus 5. That gives us 11 for our answer. And for the last one, for this one, I'm going to plug in each one. So I'm going to plug 3 in for n, and 5 in for m. Go ahead and rewrite it out. So 3 to the 2nd power minus 5. Go through my PEMDAS. I don't have parentheses, but I do have exponents. So 3 to the 2nd power is 9. Write down the rest of my equation. 9 minus 5 gives us our answer of 4. On to the next page. Do a couple of more of these. Again, I'm going to show my arrows of what I'm plugging in. So 3 times 4 times 7. I'm going to take this step by step. So 3 times 4 is 12. bring down my 7. And then 12 times 7 gives us 84 for our answer. And the last one, again, show my arrows of what I'm doing. I'm going to rewrite it. Gives us 3 to the third minus 2. Go through our PEMDAS, do our exponents first. 3 to the third power is 27 minus 2. And that's going to end up with 25. Now for our next set of problems, we want to write each phrase as an algebraic expression. So we look at each sentence and write it down as if we want to solve it. So for 28, it says a number times 6. So since we don't know what number we're multiplying, we're going to use a variable. And for this, I'm just going to go ahead and use x. So any number times 6. So we're going to go with 6x. X is representing that number that we don't know right now. We don't have a space and we don't have a symbol, so that's going to represent a number, or x, times 6. All right, for 29, 2 more than 4 times a number. So 2 more means plus 2. And 4 times a number, again, a number means we're going to put in a variable, so we're going to do a for this one. You can choose any variable, it doesn't matter which one. 4 times. So we're going to have 4 times a, which is our number we don't know, plus 2 more. You're going to end up with 4. For this one I used a, so 4a, you can have any variable, plus 2. That is the same thing as saying 2 more than 4 times a, or a number. For the last one for this, it says 2 less than 4 times a number. So 2 less is going to be minus 2. 4 times any number, or a number, is going to be a variable. We'll use a again. So it's going to be 4a minus 2. We'll go on to skip 55. Now for this next section, it's asking us to simplify. So that means combining like terms or maybe taking any pieces out that we can. So 57, we want to combine like terms. So we have to look at which terms, each one of these is a term, are like or similar. I see that we have 2x and 3x. Those are going to be like terms, so I can combine those. And it tells us that we're adding. So 2x plus 3x is going to be 5x, because 2 plus 3. And 4 doesn't have a variable, so that makes it its own term. It's not similar to any of the other ones. So I'm just going to bring down the 4. Don't have to do anything with it, can't go any farther. So simplified, this is 4 plus 5x. For 58, I'm going to point out each of my terms. And again, I see 3x and 2x. Those are similar or like terms. 3 plus 2 is 5. Bring my variable with me. Again, 7 is just by itself because it's not similar to the other terms. So I'm just going to bring down my 7. For 59, this is going to be the distributive property. So I'm going to do 8 times 2x. 8 times 2 is 16, and I just bring down my variable to give me 16x. Can't do anything more. We just leave it as it is. For 60, again, I'm going to pick out each of my terms so I can see what I'm working with. I notice right away that we have A here and A here. I'm going to combine my like terms, so my A's. So 9 plus 3 is 12. Bring down my variable. And then I have 4b. I can't do anything else with the 4b because I don't have any other terms like it. So our answer is going to be 12a plus 4b. And for the last page, we are to distribute. I'm going to draw my arrows and take it step by step. So first we do 8 times x, gives us 8x. And then we do 8 times 7. And 8 times 7 gives us 56. And then I'm going to bring down what I'm doing in my parentheses, which is adding. So I end up with 8x plus 56. Now again, I am going to draw my arrows so I know what I'm doing. First, I'm going to start with 5 times 12. 5 times 12 gives us 60. Next, I'm going to do 5 times x, gives me 5x. And then I bring down what I'm doing in my parentheses, again, is adding. So I end up with 60 plus 5x. I'm going to draw my arrows. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 5 gives us 15. And then I bring down what I'm doing in my parentheses. This time it is subtracting. So we end up with 3x minus 15. For 44, again, draw my arrows. 3 times 3x. We're going to do 3 times 3 is 9 and bring down the variable. And then we'll do 3 times 8, which is going to give us 24. And then I'm going to bring down what I'm doing in my parentheses, which is adding. So we have 9x plus 24. All right, again, draw my arrows. First, we'll do 5 times 3x. It's going to give us 15 because 5 times 3 is 15. Bring down my variable. Then we'll do 5 times 6x. 5 times 6 is 30. Again, this time we have another variable, so I have to bring that down. Bring down what we're doing in our parentheses, which is adding. And we can simplify this even more if we wanted to, because we have the same variable. We have x and x. So we can continue. So we'll do 15x plus 30x. It's going to give us 45x. And for the last one, draw my arrows. 4 times 2x, it's going to be 8x. 4 times 5y. 4 times 5 is 20, and bring down my variable. And then I bring down what I'm doing in my parentheses, which is subtraction for this one. So I have 8x minus 20y for our answer. And then finally, our last section, we are going to be factoring, which means we're taking pieces out. For 51, we have 18 and 20. And I know that I can take two out. Divide by 2. I took 2 out, so that goes on the outside of my parentheses. 18 divided by 2 is 9. don't have a variable, so I don't have to do anything with that. I bring down what I'm doing, which is adding. And then 20 divided by 2 is 10, and I bring down my variable. Gives me 2 times the quantity of 9 plus 10y. For this one, I know that 4 can go into 4 and 8. So I'm going to take out 4. What I take out goes on the outside of my parentheses. And then I can go ahead and divide. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. Bring down my variable. Bring down what I'm doing. So this one is adding. 8 divided by 4 is 2. And then I close my parentheses because I can't do anything else. And for the last one, I know I can take out 6 for both of them. What I take out goes on the outside of the parentheses. And then I can go ahead and divide. So 30 divided by 6 is 5. Bring down my variable. Bring down what I'm doing. This one is subtraction. And 18 divided by 6 is 3. And I bring down my variable and close my parentheses.